So that was dead.
None of you are getting anything for Christmas.
You remember Gumby?
Yes, I
You
remember
reminded me of Gumby.
Jeez, I'll tell you. I heard I was getting hammered on last weekend, too.
Really?
You were here. What do you mean, really?
2 hours.
2 hours.
1 minute.
Hey, Ella. Ella, your Christmas tree in your picture was very nice.
Oh, that's not my Christmas tree, but
Oh, whose tree were you standing in front of?
that's at the Citizens Trust downtown.
Oh, well, it was a very nice picture.
Well,
I like
we were
those,
trying to figure out
those
why you
effects
were
had on
dressed
there. That was very
scantily
nice.
in front of a Christmas
Thank you.
tree.
She wasn't dressed scantily.
I was not at all.
The one I saw you were.
You haven't seen any.
Wait a minute, you got pictures like that?
Yeah,
You
I'm
have
not
Ella
gonna
pictures?
I'm not going to show you guys.
How do you have Ella pictures?
Maybe
Yeah.
she sent them to me.
We're going to have a talk.
She thought she was sending him to Santa Claus.
15 seconds.
That's not nearly enough time to flesh this out, Ella.
Santa
Throw another commercial.
baby, here's
No commercial.
another picture of me, you see. I'm standing here
Sorry,
by
Ella,
a
I
tree,
didn't mean to tell
Santa
everybody.
baby.
From LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to On Target. Chuck, do you ever have a show where you start to lose control and you never gain it back?
Every single one. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
It's kind of
'Cause
fun,
I feel like
too.
that. Yeah.
I missed you guys. This is nice.
Yes. If we get Ed to stop sneezing over there. Guys, welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LAPD studio. We actually got a full staff. Finally got the Facebook up and running. We have Big Ed, we got Little Chuck, we got JC all sitting around the table talking. And we're going to be talking holsters. I actually like this conversation because there's so many neat things out there, and obviously being in the business, we're always trying out new holsters and everything. So we wanted to go through it, especially for wintertime carry. Typically a different holster for the wintertime, oftentimes because you're in coats and you have bigger clothes on, so you can carry something a little bit bigger. But nowadays, JC, you and I were talking about this. You know, I don't know if this conversation holds up as much as it used to, because one of my carry guns, which I think is right here, I mean, it holds, 15 rounds, and am I going to change from summer to winter when a little, tiny gun? So, but nonetheless, there are different options out there. So we thought we'd go through a couple of these, and we like to start, one thing too. We always put a mention out there for open carry versus concealed carry, and I don't know, I don't see it as much anymore with the open carry.
I just did last night, and it bugged me.
You did? Where at?
At the grocery store over on the west side, the guy's wearing Carhartt overalls.
Oh, wait a minute.
And he was holstered, but he was in the exterior pocket of the. And you're pushing a cart. You're in a dark parking lot going.
Chuck.
It was right there.
Chuck.
What?
You were on the west side. What
Yes,
do you
I know.
expect?
I'm
surprised it was even in a holster.
where somebody can just grab like that. The
It's
less the
not
bad guys know, the
exactly.
better off you are.
It's not tactically sound to do that. You don't want the bad guy to know, first of all, that you have a gun right there in plain sight, and you don't want them to know that you're the good guy with the gun. I don't get that.
They're going to grab your right hand or your left hand, wherever it is, to make sure you don't get to it. That's going to be the first thing they do if they come after you.
And here's the other thing too. We always mention about this. We get suckered down this here at the store too sometimes. But and everyone gets the holster so you can access it real quick and everything. In a true situation out there, I don't think. And Ed, you can chime in too. Have you ever, in an off-duty situation, you're in plain clothes, had to draw your firearm quickly? I mean, the threat is upon you. You hadn't identified it to this point, and all of a sudden you have to draw it out. No, you usually have an opportunity that something's going south. Oh, look at these guys coming up here. Oh, it's a road rage. Whatever the case may be. So don't get too hung up on, I need to have, fast draw and stuff, because, that's not always,
And even if the threat is on you right away, I mean, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have an opportunity to stand back, make distance between you and the subject, unless he's already got his gun pointed at you, and then you better just listen.
Right, but you should have probably identified the threat before that anyway.
Right.
So if you're looking at holsters, one of the things we like to look at to delineate is leather versus nylon versus Kydex. nylon is darn near gone, JC. I don't see hardly any nylon holsters anymore.
Well, only in the really inexpensive kind of, like the bag, as I call them, and stuff that you wear to the range where you
Right, the old Black Hawks with the strap over.
Yep,
so that's really not in the conversation, and
anymore.
unfortunately, leather isn't as much in the conversation as it used to be. I still like a good leather holster.
Well, they're great. You have to replace them a lot more often. Not that I think they say you can get about 3 years out of if you wear them regularly, about 3 years, and then they kind of loosen up but they're quiet and they're easy on your gun and comfortable, and there's a lot of stuff going on for them. Although there's some new polymers that are out there. I guess it's one of my favorite ones where it's pretty flexible as far as this is the Slim Tuck from DeSantis. It's one of my favorites because it's slim, it's ambidextrous on its own, easily and adjust on the cant or the rake, whichever you want.
And so that one is really considered. So if you do a leather one, we recommend you got to keep a little oil in your gun. Make sure you don't have it sit in that leather holster for a long period of time and getting rust on it, especially winter months. You might get caught in the snow, a little bit of moisture out there. But the Kydex is really kind of king now, and I've went to it. And one of the things that used to be an argument was, these kiting, that it's a hard plastic, it's gonna rough up your gun, it's gonna wear the finish. That's not the case at all. Matter of fact, I think the leather has been shown to show more holster wear on your firearms than the Kydex.
Yeah, you can.
I just want quiet. That's all I care about.
Some of the holsters that we have, like this one that it's kind of this combination. They have a waterproof leather on the inside, so it conforms to your body. I mean, let's face it, leather, just like your shoes, you put them on, eventually they just feel really comfortable. Same with the holster. Kydex does not break in, per se. So this particular one has a waterproof leather that kind of goes against
you got to take it out of the bag,
your
JC.
skin. I guess I should do that.
Well, then now it's not waterproof.
Okay. There you go. So it even comes with,
I guess he didn't get it.
But it's got a Kydex actual holster part that is attached to this. This has been really popular with people who carry them regularly. Yeah, I do have one of those.
And the thing with the Kydex, you start to talk about the retention. So a lot of times and this is not every time, but a lot of times in winter carry, you've gone from an inside the waistband to go to an outside the waistband. So the retention on that and the retention on these Kydex, it's good these days. Yeah. A lot of them have a retention screw, and you can adjust that retention. If you look here, Chuck, you can see, that snap in there is a definite snap. I wouldn't personally buy an open top holster with no retention like the old leather ones anymore and wear it out in public. You reach for something, you're on the ground or something, it has a tendency to fly out.
Right. They say if you have a leather holster, turn it upside down, shake it about 3 times, it falls out, then you've time to get that replaced, because you could fall on the ground, have your gun slide out.
Yeah.
It was for the 45. It's an outside the waistband, and it's got a nice trigger. I have to push to pull. I like that a lot, especially with that big heavy gun.
And Chuck, you're on to something. So Chuck is mentioning the ones with a little more retention. So some of the most basics of the Kydex, like some of the ones I wear around the store, they have the retention in the trigger. So there's a definite click that when it goes in, and it's good. But someone still could pull that from you.
And for those listening, that just means it's heated and it's depressed slightly. So when the Kydex sets, it fits into the trigger guard slightly, and that's the resistance you have when pulling it out. And it doesn't seem to go away or loosen up.
One of the most popular ones that are at the store are the Safariland. And the Safariland is kind of neat because it used to be Safariland, you would only think of duty holsters, Ed, right? A Safariland holster is your duty holster, but they, I think, merged or purchased Bianchi, a number of years ago. And so there's a lot of holsters out there for concealed carry holders. And one of my favorite, it's their ProFit line, where we probably have 5 or 6 different ones, but they fit a ton of different guns. And you put them in, there's a set screw on it, and you can conform it right to your particular gun. And to your point, Chuck, it has an active retention. So you actually have to depress it to get the gun out, which is great from a security standpoint. It looks from an outsider looking in, it looks like just an open top, but there is a retention. We love them, and they come with a paddle, and that's another consideration, a paddle holster and a belt holster. paddle holsters are great for one if you're not wearing a belt, and the other thing is easy on and off. I mean, you can take it easy.
That's why police officers love it when they go to court because they can just grab everything and pull it out without having to take off your belt on your pants.
I really, really like this. Just that it's all one motion. Once you've
all
done
one
it a few
motion.
times, there's no extra step. There's no half-second loss or anything. It's great, and it. I don't know. It's just more security with a big, heavy gun. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is. When you're also looking at the outside the waistband holsters, we always recommend, even on the smaller guns, something that has at least a couple straps or a couple clips to it, or to wobble a little bit on that. Whereas if it's two, gives you a little bit more.
It's important stability.
Yeah,
it keeps it where you want it to be. When you reach for it, you know it's there.
The other thing, too, guys, is when you look at the ease of taking it on and off, the paddle certainly allows you to take it on and off easy. But our friends over at 3i Holsters, they were here a couple weeks ago, their holsters now can come with the clip like this. And if you're watching on Facebook, check it out. It almost looks like a traditional belt clip that has a cut at the bottom. And you can put this holster on and off really without having be a paddle.
It goes to the belt.
It goes right to the belt.
It goes
yep,
right to the belt.
belt.
So it's an outside. Yeah. You are so right how things have changed. Like you said, why do you carry a bigger gun? Usually because it held more ammo. Now you can get these little skinny things holding 13 rounds and more, and so you're right about that. It's just the access. In winter, you have to realize, hey, now you've got Polar Tech on, you got a jacket, you've got, you have to really consider this, because when you carry, you have time to unzip your jacket, pull up your Polar Tech, get under your shirt. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on there if you're carrying inside the waistband. So you really have to determine that. Want to get a good holster? Come in here, bring the clothes that you're going to be wearing. Make sure you can have access to it. So,
and one of the things we talk about every year, kind of a PSA, is if you have a coat on that has that drawstring, unfortunately there's been many cases, so guys, we're good there, safe and unloaded.
Stuck on the string?
And it gets stuck on the string. I mean, you hear situations where they go to to reholster their firearm, that string is caught. And now with these new striker fire guns, they inadvertently will push down on it and fire the gun. And it happens. It happens every year, even though it's talked about. It's important to make sure you really clear the opening for the holster before you go and reholster it. The other thing, too, is where do you guys like to wear? When you wear an outside the waistband holster, JC, where do you have it at? What position on your body?
It just depends on your body, your flexibility. Had a shoulder injury, so I can go back at 4 o'clock, which is about what I carry. But if I have to go back further than that, believe it or not, I use a left-handed holster. A lot of people go, what? I tell people all the time in the holster class we teach, I said, for those of you who are out there, you can't see me if you're not on Facebook, but I can get my hand back here, right about here, but I can't get any farther. If I have a left-handed holster on the other side, I can get my hand all the way over to the side and draw. So if I'm a bicycle and I have a firearm here, I cannot get to it with my right hand, but with a left-handed holster, I can reach over there and draw it out. So it's
like a backside
we have
cross
a question
draw.
from the audience.
Is.
What?
Well, that's a great
option.
Alternative in the wintertime. Shoulder rigs, we don't get the calling for it like we used to. And the unfortunate thing is the really good shoulder rigs that are meant for the gun, that's the ones you really should be looking at. They're literally $150, $175, and we don't stock them because as you can imagine, trying to stock every combination, and you throw lights and lasers on it and everything else. So we don't stock them. We can get them, but the DeSantis, the Galco, I mean, those are the traditional shoulder holsters, and you can wear those all day long under a coat.
Very comfortable under a coat. So, yeah.
What's the idiot factor rating on those T-shirts they're advertising now that have the pouch at the side?
You know what?
The conceal carry T-shirt.
I've had those over the years. They still weight it down. No matter what you do, you're still kind of like, sagging on the side. It's just, I don't know. Now, the belly bands I've had good luck with.
Yes.
During the summer.
During the summer.
Yeah, if you're trying to access something with a coat.
But to your point, too, as alternatives, ankle holsters, still good. I mean, Dad carries a gun on his ankle a lot of the time. I mean, it's good. You have to consider if you sit down and your pants rise up a little bit, you might see it. But they're not a bad thing as long as your pants are wide enough at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, and no longer you can bend down there. So if I carry my ankle holster, I got a 3-legged stool I carry too. So I
Yes.
can set it down, lift my leg up, and then.
Well,
yeah,
when
so
Dad
it's a
wears his
giveaway,
skinny
so-
jeans, there's only one way to get to that gun, and it's not pretty. Sorry about that visual out there, guys.
Insert sound effects here.
So the other thing, there's always alternatives out there that kind of come and go. This one, Chuck, look at this. Do you think if you wore this on your belt, people would know you had a gun in it?
These days, I would think they'd probably speculate.
That's a binocular case, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
that's what
about
it
the
looks
size
like.
of a binocular
Yeah.
case,
Yeah.
but these are meant to be worn on your belt, and they have a holster inside. I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess to each his
Things
own.
are so small now with phone cases. I would.
That looks like something
suspect.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would probably assume just because I'm carrying something like this in 2024, there's a gun in there.
Right. So,
or you're a geek.
Oh yeah, that's true.
and Chuck, I mean, we have up here too. I mean, we've talked about, you know,
That is not going to go with anything I wear.
I mean, the ladies out there have it a little bit harder because oftentimes they're not wearing a belt that's meant to hold up a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the age-old question: how can they carry and stuff? And Chuck, the purses. I mean, this I know yours is brown. This one's black, but
Yeah, mine's a little darker.
yes, but I mean the purses are still a great option for women who are carrying concealed, whether it be summertime or wintertime. So
And if you're worried about it, a lot of the ones we carry actually have locks on them, little
Yep.
key and lock. They give
So
you a
where's
couple
it
keys,
holstered? Right
and
here?
so
Is that it?
you know if you don't when you're not there, you
You
can
remember
lock them.
Angie
You can use it as
Dickinson
a hand warmer,
Angie
too.
Dickinson as policewoman in the 70s with that big luggage purse, and she's like looking for the 38, and it's
Yeah.
by the time she finds it, that was a bad show, but I watched it every week.
that's right, guys. Let's jump to a break. When we come back,
Only to see Angie.
Yeah, I wonder why.
when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about holsters. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. We'll be back right after the break. Let's talk about this one here.
Pepper. Her name
to open it, but it's sealed, so I didn't want to.
Over the years, I've bought many, many holsters, and I think I want to trade them all in.
I know that's what this. Hey, you see,
I got one holster I carry for my everyday off-duty gun, and that's the only thing I've been carrying for years.
you said someone said it looks like we have a garage sale going on out there.
Yep.
It was an estate sale. You see all the holsters. It was literally. Oh, Pawpaw just texted. Don't forget about the bra holster.
Yeah,
That whole thing ended badly.
Yeah.
When we used to carry him, and he says I'm the sole fitter of the holster.
Why do you
and-
think he's on the naughty list?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Ed, can you read this as Santa? I crossed out that one line now.
All right. When?
Well, when they go,
And hear the music.
and we got. Well, we actually we don't have much
So
time.
I can leave off what does the sun?
I-
Seconds.
30 seconds.
Mix of
You
sun
have
and
to open
clouds.
that one.
Yeah.
because
What is
Any
that?
new
You can say whatever the heck you
It's
want.
got a
any new belt
Oh.
styles?
beautiful.
I've got to get a new belt.
These. Have you had this yet?
I don't have that one.
Yes, I got two.
Oh,
of
you
them.
got-
I've got the mechanism, but mine's a silver class.
Does it
That's
have?
what
Does
I
it have
bought.
the thing
Yes.
yet? Okay. Yeah, we have
10
bunches.
seconds.
10 seconds, Santa.
Santa. Is he here? Santa's here?
I'm told.
Hey, your ABC first warning weather. Today, a mix of sun and clouds. Dry at 44 degrees. Tonight, likely overnight with rain, heavy. Low of 37. Sunday, rain continues mainly in the morning with a high of 47. It's currently 41 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVL.
News, traffic, weather, sports.
Does he tell we pay by the minute?
News Radio 610
Did I take too long for that?
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
I mean, that was like $77.
I don't want to do it again.
Welcome back to On
So
Target.
much for the spirit of Christmas there, Eric.
Welcome back to On Target. We are talking about holsters. We got a text from Pawpaw says, don't forget the bra holsters. We don't carry those anymore. Little bit of an issue with that, with the whole fitting and stuff. But at the time, they were popular.
I think you should always have armed underwear. That's an important thing.
Yes. Well, there is yoga pants and stuff with the holsters
See,
in there.
now where are you going to put a gun in yoga pants? I'm sorry. No, that can't be.
I've seen it.
That cannot
seen
be.
Yeah.
No.
All right. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah.
So, JC, you have something, there's oftentimes you get to a point, and we have a lot of holsters here, but there's, you get some that have a light on them or optic, and most of them will take an optic these days. But there's a great holster line that we just picked up, G-Code. If you haven't heard of them, a very reputable holster manufacturer. We sell some of their holsters here, and they came out with a generic holster that is just wonderful. And the neat thing about it, it comes in 2 sizes, small, medium, and medium large, I believe. And they're universal fit. I mean, it's almost worth getting to have under your, to have for that time when you can't find a holster to fit something.
Inside or outside, or both?
Both at inside, outside, left, and right, ambi.
Yeah.
All in one holster, one package. All you got to do is chart.
Is that one of them?
Yeah. It just comes with the necessary screws, but
inside
it
the
fits in
waist
like a paddle holster,
that's a
left,
paddle, okay.
right side.
I like how thin it is.
Also has belt.
I mean, look at that. I mean,
It was nice and tight. I could just tell that from the way you put
right,
it.
and that is just a generic. I mean, it's a universal fit holster.
Universal.
Yeah.
On the outside, it said this fits over 150 different firearms.
And we've sold products like this over the years, but you had to choose inside or outside the waistband, and left and
right-handed.
Left and right-handed. This package has it all. It has all the hardware in it to do that all. So it's nice.
$29.99.
That's it.
$29.99.
Are they making guns too?
I like this. I
Not that I know.
I got an email. It was G Force or G Power or G such that I never heard of before with a whole line of firearms. Like,
really?
What is this? Is this the next Kel-Tec or something? Because I never heard of them.
I don't know. I don't think it's these guys.
They also make one difference in this. Like this one is their tactical one,
right.
And it says, and this particular one I'm holding, it's ready for optics and inside the
they make some very nice holsters. We actually just did an order for an agency
you
here.
You can buy one that's ready for an optic?
Yeah,
most of them.
I meant flashlight.
We can stock them. Yeah. Yep.
No kidding.
So so they're really neat. G-Code, definitely a great brand. We are starting to stock them here along with the DeSantis and all the other lines and stuff. But if you're in the market for a holster and you're not quite sure the size, or where you have several guns you go between at home and you want one size fits all, they're nice. They're a nice alternative.
We were talking during the break too. If you're going to get a new holster, go look at these belts too, because I love those belts.
Well,
I got to get a new one myself because I've changed dimensions a bit.
Yes.
But I love those belts because they're so easy to put on and off. You might as well get the belt
and
with the holster.
Chuck, you make a great point. You need to have a good belt that is meant to hold up a firearm. Ones we have that we absolutely love are the Blade Tech line with the ratcheting. They are wonderful. They come in different colors and styles, but it is definitely worthwhile. I actually have it on my Christmas list this year because mine is 7 years old. No, I still wear it every day.
I have one like that too. I got two of them like that. I have one that's kind of worn out as well, like yours. So I bought a new one, and then I also have the dress style one that I wear with my uniform.
That's what I want to get, the dress belt.
Yeah,
They look really nice.
They're very, very nice, and the fact you can adjust them to whatever size you need. I mean, I've never even trimmed this one down, and it goes almost all the way around my waist. So I'm kind of like you. I'm moving backwards in size, which is good.
Yeah.
But it holds up, especially for in the waistband.
There you go. Guys, wow, I can't believe the whole hour went by. We need 2 hours, JC.
Yeah, we do.
We didn't get to the gun of the week. We will definitely get to it next week because next week we'll actually have it in hand.
All right.
So
what's it going to be? Any hints?
It's actually a new Ruger that just came out that we'll have for sale next week. That's
nice.
Really cool. Really cool. No, it's a semi. They did it in conjunction with Magpul.
Nice.
It's kind of neat. So thanks for spending the last hour with us. Thanks for all my buddies sitting around the table with me. Thanks for Santa for calling in.
Hey,
incredible.
I want to wish all the fans out there, especially on Facebook, who stuck around for us. And so I finally got to see us all. Merry Christmas to you all.
Yep. So we'll be back next week before Christmas, Ed. You got...
I won't be here.
Okay. All right. Ed won't be here. Guys, have a good one out there, and let's be careful out there.
Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, news, talk, and sports radio. Podcasts, too. Download the app. Free never sounded so good.
Have you heard Winning Retirement Radio with Greg and Kristen Taylor? You know, we take a personal interest in everyone that walks in our door and meets with us. We love it when you have successes, and we cry with you when you've had
tell me if this is too long.
We've seen all kinds of stories throughout the years.
We're just days away from Christmas. If you're still in need of that perfect gift, stop by the store for gift cards and more. And of course, listen to OnTarget right here Saturday at noon or live from LEPD Studios on Bethel Road.
LegacyRetirementGroup.com.
It's the season of gratitude.
Tomorrow,
We at Simple Bath and Kitchen love this time of year.
Tomorrow
because
at
it
noon
helps
or
us to
live
really
from
take the
LEPD
time to
Studios on
focus
Bethel
All
Road?
that we truly have and all that we're thankful for.
Today at noon or
All
live
of
from
you
LEPD
brought to the
Studios on
top of
Bethel
our
Road?
list. Our Columbus community has allowed our family
Hey,
to
thanks for
work
the
in your
cameo
most
today.
sacred
That was
place,
perfect.
Your home.
And we
were
understand that
laughing.
privilege. We are so blessed
Yeah,
that by
well.
remodeling
All
your
right,
bath
have
and
a good week,
kitchen,
Al.
we have become part of
All right,
your
bye.
family.
In Columbus, at Simple Bath and Kitchen, we're